Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be sharing you how you can firstly discover your unique superpower and how you can use this to your advantage in business. So if you're wondering what it is that you love, what you're good at, and you can get paid for whilst making an impact in the world, we're going to help you distill that down with a really special formula in this training. And then we're going to show you what this could look like to monetize and scale in business. So this is the second video of 7 where we are sharing with you 7 things we wished we knew before starting and scaling our business. It is going to be a game changer for you, especially if you're wanting to really find your zone of genius. So with that, let's just dive in. Okay, I think we are live. Okay, if you can see us, firstly want to say thank you for joining us again. Secondly, I would love for you to post in the chat box and let us know where you're coming in from. And firstly, do you have a business? Secondly, are you looking to have a business? So whereabouts in your journey are you? If you do have a business, drop all of your links. Like we said yesterday, we want this to be the place where you are really pimping yourself out and creating such an amazing community around you. So one thing that we're doing today, which is really exciting that we did not do yesterday, is we're going to be giving away a completely free planner, wherever the planner is.
Yeah, currently popping up.
We have another one somewhere. Maybe it's on the floor. We'll show you. Oh. So we're going to be giving away a completely free planner when we get to 1,000 reactions. So a reaction is in the corner. You can press heart, like smile, like, all of those, and you can continuously press them as we're working through the training. So give us as many reactions as possible, and the minute we hit 1,000 reactions, we're going to be checking. We're going to give away a free planner to one of you. We'll call you out on the training and we will send it to you. So very exciting.
And just to let you know, guys, this is happening on the Facebook one. So if you're watching us on Instagram, come over to Facebook. We're Team Boss Babe. And you can find us there. And then if you join on there and give us the reactions, then we can pick the winner from there. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. So today's training, we're really excited about. We are going to be showing you how you can find your superpower in business. So this whole week, we're going live every single day to share with you 7 things we wish we knew before starting and scaling our business. And one of them is finding your superpower. So both of us have completely different stories, which we're going to share with you. But I think we can both agree, if we knew our superpower before we got into business, things would have been different and we probably would have saved a lot of time, money, energy. So in the chat box, before we even get started, I want you to tell me, firstly, do you know your superpower? If you do, post it, because there might be lots of people looking for your superpower. Maybe you're a copy genius, maybe you're amazing at website design, whatever your superpower is, post it. If you don't know what it is yet, I want you to post and say, I don't know, I'm ready to find it, because we're going to cover 2 things. First thing is how you actually find your superpower. Second thing is, if you already have it, how you can be using it as an unfair advantage. So 2 big things that we're going to cover.
I am excited. Natty and I have been chatting as well. Like she said earlier, it's just so important to really kind of understand what your superpower is, and sometimes that can be super daunting, but when you do get it, when you're like, oh yeah, that's what I can do, and often those things happen on automatic pilot. Sometimes it's really hard to actually think about your own superpower because you take it for granted. So I'm really excited for us to be sharing our own stories on that, because we have very different stories, and so hopefully you guys are going to be relating to that. So I'm really excited. We're seeing so many people sharing what their superpowers are.
Web design, social media, we've got chiropractic, makeup artist, amazing. So we're in a bit of a mix, and there's also a lot of people saying, I don't fully know what it is, but I'm ready to find out, and that's all we need from you. We just need that willingness to find out, and we're going to go all in. So also in the chat box, we are live to a lot of people right now, and Danielle and I are totally new to this, so we're learning as we go. So in the chat box, if anything flickers, goes off, if you're like, I can't see what you're sharing, any of that stuff, post in the chat box, let us know. And then I want you to keep an eye on when we hit 1,000 reactions. Post in the chat box and say 1,000 reactions, and we're going to instantly give away a planner. So if you're commenting in there, you might be at an advantage, because we're going to be scrolling through the comments and picking a winner out of the comments. These planners, when we first launched, sold out within a couple of days. They're absolutely amazing. It's worth $50, so definitely worth getting all the comments, all the reactions, all the things. So with that, I'm going to dive straight in. I'm going to share my story to begin with. Danielle's going to share hers, and then we're going to work into training. So I'm not sure how many of you know of my story, but for me, I was at university studying business management. I'd always been obsessed with entrepreneurship. Like, I was that weird child that was obsessed with entrepreneurship before I even knew what the word was, anyone else like that. And when I was at university, I was studying business management and I was crushing it. I really, really was. I had a business at the time, just like a small on-the-side business that I was doing with someone else. I had an entrepreneurship society where I was bringing together entrepreneurs, hence why we call it the society. We were bringing together entrepreneurs in the society, which ended up being one of the biggest and best in the UK. So I was really going all in at uni and I just loved it. Like, it was just lighting me up. And when you are studying business management, the absolute dream outcome and career for anyone is a management consulting position. And so that had always been drummed into me from the very beginning, is that's why you're doing it. Like, you want to get an offer from the big five, that's what we're going for. And when I was in my second year, I was actually lucky enough, or I worked hard enough, to be given my graduate job offer. So like, my degree was going to be 4 years. I got given my job offer 2 years in. They were like, when you're ready, when you're graduating, you can come join us. And it was actually amazing for me because I was in tons of student debt. I was paying my own way through university, and this graduate job firstly would have been enough to pay off all of my student debt. Secondly, would have allowed me to move out of Newcastle and down to London, which is something I was really excited about. And just generally from the outside was like the dream career, the reason I was doing all of this in the beginning. And that didn't feel right to me. There was something in my gut that was just telling me this wasn't the right option. Has anyone experienced that before? Where I'd been obsessed with entrepreneurship and I'd been doing this whole business thing. It didn't light me up, should I say, to think about going and doing a corporate job right after university. It just wasn't what I wanted to do deep down. But I also didn't have any other ideas. I had no business idea. I didn't know what I was passionate about. I didn't know what my zone of genius was. I was just kind of figuring things out as I went along. And so what actually ended up happening is I got to my 4th year and this sinking feeling in my gut just did not go away. It was continually staying there. And I remember chatting to one of our friends that we were actually with last night. She's called Nick Pigeon. We were in a cafe in Newcastle, and I said to her, Nick, I just don't know what to do. I have this amazing graduate job offer, but it doesn't feel right. But at the same time, I have no money, I have no business idea, I have no backup plan, I have student debt, so I have minus money. What do I do? And so she said to me one question which really changed the game for me. She was like, what's the absolute worst that could happen? Like, what's the worst that could happen if you don't go ahead and do it? And I just decided to go ahead, but I didn't have a business idea. So I went into a business that I wasn't passionate about and I started doing it. And because yesterday, like we talked about this whole thing about taking action, I just started taking action, but I went all the way into it and I was doing it for 2 years and it wasn't lighting me up. And so I kind of covered some of this yesterday, the journey of getting there, so you can go and follow that, but it was not lighting me up. And so 2 years in, I started to think about what is lighting me up. And what was lighting me up was doing the Instagram for this business every single day. I was studying Instagram every single day, trying to learn every single thing that I could about it. That was what was lighting me up. And so I thought to myself, what if I could do Instagram as my job? No one was really doing it at the time. And what ended up happening was I decided to create a course on Instagram. And when launching it, I made my first $250,000, which to say that was mind-blowing for me. Like, I couldn't have even imagined that amount of money coming my way. I was used to struggling to pay rent. I was used to struggling to just pay my expenses. Money was coming in, it was going out. We were talking all about this yesterday when we were talking about taking action. That's just what I did, but money was coming in and out. And to then be able to turn what I knew into a business, that's when that alignment clicked in, and this money just came at me, $250,000, and it completely changed the game for me. It completely changed my life. And that is when I decided that's when I kind of found my first superpower, is just thinking about, what am I truly passionate about, and is there a way to monetize it? Because I didn't want to become a social media manager. And a lot of you might be thinking, oh, I have this idea, but I actually don't know how to turn it into a business. That's what I did. And starting to harness that has been incredible, and I'm still doing that years and years later.
I love that, and thank you for sharing that, because I think one thing that's really important to remember is, like, you know, when you made that first 250,000, that was life-changing to you. And I think that, you know, you hadn't gone into it either thinking, oh my goodness, this is what's exactly going to happen. But when you actually harness your power, and when you like actually put it out there and you create something that you've put your heart and soul into, and people can learn from. It is incredible what happens. And can I ask you something? When you were creating that as well, did you find that super easy and super in flow to kind of get down what you knew?
So in the beginning, no. One mistake I think a lot of us make is we think people already know what we know. We're like, I don't have anything really worth sharing. People already know what I know. And so when I was creating the course in the beginning, I was skipping a lot of the beginning steps, and I was just going in with what I knew of like, this is really good, this is really good. And there was a lot of people that when I started, because before I launched, I started asking people to take the course and test it, and they were like, this is great, but I haven't even got an idea how to get to that point. Like, I'm just trying to get a few thousand followers. I don't know, I'm not at that stage yet. And so I actually was a few more steps ahead than I thought. And I think actually a lot of us can think that, like, we all have such specialized knowledge and there's a lot we can teach, but we forget to really dumb it down to the beginnings because we think everyone knew. But yeah, it completely changed my life, and I honestly didn't know that level of money was possible for me. Like, even like my corporate job that was going to pay off my entire student debt, the salary of that was £32,000 a year, which I guess is probably $45,000 or something, which to turn that down, I thought that I was the craziest person in the world. I'm like, $45,000 a year, this is going to change my life. And I turned that down. And so for anyone listening that's like $250,000, it's so far away from me, that's what I thought. And I didn't have a massive audience. I didn't have all of these shiny things that we have now. I really didn't have any of that. I just had knowledge that people, I guess, really wanted to learn. So it was a game changer. Finding my superpower there was a game changer.
I love that. And I'm just going to kind of share a little bit of my story because, mine was actually a little bit more a different journey to Natalie's, because for so long, and for those of you who don't know my journey, I was actually a chiropractor before I became part of Boss Babe. And chiropractic was very much a vocational degree. There was a course to it. You went to university or college, and then you got a job, and then you were in that job. And I won't go into too many of the details that really kind of changed me to come out of that, but when we can do that on another live. But when I decided to kind of go, actually, do you know what? I want to help more people, and I want to take my work from in-person to online. I really was scratching my head hard as to what my superpower was. And that was not an easy stage for me. I was like, well, what am I good at outside of chiropractic? Like, I don't have any superpowers. Like, I can't do that. Like, does anyone else relate to that? Is anyone listening to this going, oh yeah, I don't have a superpower? I'm like, I don't know what to do next, because that's how I felt. And it was a really difficult time. And I didn't want any of you guys to feel alone. And what I'd done when I'd been a chiropractor and I had my own business is I started building a business, but I was just learning as I was going. I was kind of like just doing things and taking action, which again, we spoke about yesterday. But what really happened is I'd started learning and utilizing skill sets that I hadn't even acknowledged. And I think that's what happens for a lot of us. Like, every single one of you has a superpower. It's just actually acknowledging it for yourself. And quite often, I think when you find things easy, which tends to be what happens with your superpower, you don't even realize that is a superpower. So for me, one of the things that I've realized is actually one of mine is communication. I'm really great at creating teams and getting people behind something and rallying and really helping people, communicating and supporting them on their journey. And another one was building businesses. I actually hadn't even considered that, because I really kind of talk about my journey isn't necessarily have one tiny thing that I'm good at. I'm more of like the heptathlete. I kind of have a core superpower, like a core niche of superpowers. But what I'm trying to say is that it is within you, and the exercise that Natalie's going to take you through in a second, because we love these trainings to be full of takeaways. That's why we want you guys to come on here and learn the things that we wish we had. So Natalie's got an incredible training to take you through, which helped her find hers and actually helped me find mine. So I'm going to hand over to Natalie just to share on that, and that it is possible, and that every single one of you does have that superpower.
Yeah, totally. And someone commented in there saying, so are you saying our superpower is to dumb down what we know? Absolutely not saying that. I'm just sharing that when I first found my superpower and realized that I had knowledge to share, I actually didn't realize I had so much to share, and I had to really dumb it down. And I'm not sure if I had 1,000 reactions yet. Can one of the Boss Babe team comment and let us know in the comments? So reactions are like likes, basically, because I know there's a lot of you asking, they're like, how do I plan a reactions are like likes, but you can put hearts, you can put likes, you can put all that stuff. So let us know when we hit that. And for anyone on Instagram that is wanting to start seeing the diagrams, come on over to Facebook. We're on Facebook Live right now. We're going to be sharing a diagram with you. So there's a few different ways that you can start to think about what your specific superpower is. But I want to say one thing that might be a little bit controversial before we even dive into this. Danielle hates when I get controversial. So she's like, what's she going to say?
What's she going to say now?
So it's my belief that you already know what your superpower is. I don't buy into the BS of I don't know what it is. I buy into the doubt that you don't know, you don't feel your superpower is valuable enough, you don't feel your superpower is unique enough, you don't feel that your superpower is monetizable. I think deep down, everyone really knows what it is. They know what lights them up, they know what they're good at, but it's actually it's that doubt and it's the mindset stuff that kicks in from yesterday. So does anyone agree with me? Can anyone be like, yeah, I can kind of see that, thanks for calling me out?
It's a confidence piece,
yeah,
which I think so many people are watching will relate to, you know, particularly as women on here. Sometimes we do kind of suffer with those confidence pieces and shouting our own trumpet, and I think for a lot of people it's strange to like shout toot your own horn, as they say, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want you to be doing and actually reframing that. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah, totally. So okay, I want you to just consider a couple of things. Okay, the first thing is I want you to consider what you love, and I know we don't have tons of time on this call. There's a link below. If you click that training and join the training, we can go into so much detail about it, but I'm going to share as much as I possibly can on the call. Think about what you love. Think about what absolutely lights you up. Like if you wake up, like imagine yourself waking up one morning and seeing your calendar is filled with this one thing. What is it? And just write it down if you know it. Like, is it writing? Is it teaching? Is it helping people? Whatever it is, think about what you absolutely love. And if you don't know that right now, just write down, what do I love? And you can come back to that for training, because I know we don't have tons of time. Secondly, I want you to think about what you are good at, and it's not necessarily the same thing, right? So one thing that I'm really, really good at is tech. Like, I can sort out a tech funnel automation like no one's business. Like, all of the techie stuff, I very much have a mindset of like, I can figure anything out. And I would love to hire myself, honestly. Like, if someone gives me a task, there is absolutely no chance I would ever go back to them and say, I really don't know how to figure this out. I might go back to them and say, hey, I've tried X, Y, Z, and I'm still not there. Here's what I've tried. Can you give me any insight? But I will Google search, find anything until I can figure it out. And so that's really led me to be pretty good at tech automation, things like that. And I dislike it. In fact, I would go as far to say as I hate doing it. I used to do it so much in the beginning for us. Yeah. And it got to a point where I said to Danielle, I kind of want to quit my job because I'm doing way too much of this, but I was good at it, but it didn't link with what I loved, right? So think about all the different things you're good at. And there's a lot of things that I am good at that actually really link with what I love. And one of them, which we can come on to in a bit, is writing. I love to write. It really lights me up, and I'm also really, really good at it. So write down a full list of things you're good at, and I want you to go through and cross-reference. Okay, what are the things we love, and what are the things I love and I'm actually good at? And if it's that, give it a tick. And you can start to label these things as your passion, because your passion is things that you love and it's things that you're good at. So that's the first thing. And by the way, you might start listing these out and it might not be a job, and that's fine. The next part is thinking about what you can be paid for. So taking a look at those things, taking a look at what you're really good at, what could you be paid for out of those things? So again, go through the list of what you're good at and tick things that you might be able to get paid for. So maybe if it's copywriting, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to pay you for copywriting as well, right? If it's social media, I'm sure there's people that want to see social media. If it's drawing, like whatever it is, go through and see if people actually want this, or if it's something that actually you're good at, but you have, like, maybe it's playing piano, you could be really good at playing piano, but you don't want to turn it into a career, and just cross it off if it's not something that you think you can be paid for.
And I'd also add, like, for those of you, there's going to be a mixture of people who are already entrepreneurs and have businesses, and there's going to be people watching who maybe have full-time jobs right now. So also think about what your skill sets are in your actual current roles in work and what you actually enjoy from that, and actually what you know about it. So, you know, are you in finance sector? Are you in human resources sector? Are you in the marketing sector? Because those are also key skill sets that are transferable as well, and also things that, you know, play into understanding what your superpower is.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, you've got the list of what you love, you've got the list of what you're good at, you're starting to cross-reference them and like, there's some things here. I want you to get a list of things you could be paid for based off of these two things. So to be honest, if it was me and I was starting from the beginning, I probably would have no problem going into business where tech is a big part of my job, right? When we first started out in business, I was the one that handled all the tech. And I just knew I was good at it. And I was like, I can make money from this. I know I'm good at it. And it's going to help me get me to my bigger vision, which is helping people. I know if I can figure out the tech, I know I can get my message out there to more people and we can help people. So just think about that list. And then the fourth part is what the world needs. So I think you're probably the same because you're on this training, and I know a lot of us are really, really similar. We are really impact driven, and we are always thinking about what the world needs. And so for us, and comment if you agree, we think the world needs more financial independent women. Like it really, really does. That. And so that's a big thing that drives us. And so when we were linking up all of our different, what we love, what we're good at, what we could get paid for, what the world needs, one of them was, well, the world needs more financially independent women. So we wrote that. Bonnie's like, oh yes. So that's a big part of what we do. Like everything goes back to what the world needs. How can we have a bigger impact on the world? Because yeah, we can all do jobs, but how incredible if we can get paid to make an impact for a living. Like I don't know that there's anything that lights me up more than waking. Like Danielle came down this morning and I was literally sitting in my DMs voice noting some of my IJ clients.
So nice.
I know them all by name. I stalk their profiles, and every now and then I just go and I send them voice notes and I try and keep them motivated, because that is what lights me up. It's not a transaction. I care so much about every single client that we have. And you know what, even if they're not paying clients, all of you showing up to this training, I care so much about delivering the most that we possibly can. And so that for me all lined up in that process. So I'm just going to quickly repeat. So things that you love, things that you're good at, what you could be paid for, and what the world needs, how you can make an impact. If you dial in those four things, it will be a game changer for you. And I know we've covered things really, really quickly because we don't have the most time on here and we can't go into too much detail. It's not like a webinar, but there is a link for anyone on Instagram. There's a link in our bio. For anyone on Facebook, there's a link right here where we're going to take you to bossabkbb.com, where we're actually going to be sharing with you how you can find your superpower. And if you are really interested in what I was talking about in the beginning of how I extracted my knowledge and turned it into a paying course and made that first 250k, if you're interested in extracting your knowledge, we'll show you that there. But we're really, really interested in showing you how you can start figuring out what your superpower is.
Yeah, that was amazing actually. And like Natalie, like we started off by saying, Natalie and I actually did this training ourselves, and we do it regularly as well, because also your skill sets can change too. So even if you've done this before and you're super confident in your skill set or your superpower, you can do it again as well, because there's always things that come through with it, and there's always ways that you can hone down what you're doing. So even if you have a business and you're moving that forward, so you're like, actually, right, I'm maybe not feeling as 100% happy as I was previously. So I want to really kind of understand what my skill sets are again, so that I can then leverage my team better. So those of you who already have businesses as well.
Yeah.
So give us some hearts, give us some likes if you're enjoying this. We want to get up to those 1,000 reactions so that we can give away the planner.
Do we have 1,000 reactions? No one is telling me how many reactions we have.
I think I saw like a 210.
So let us know how many reactions we have. If we don't have 1,000, I want you all to get on the hearts, get on the likes, press this button as many times as you can. There's 200 of you in here, so if you start giving us like 50, let's get up to 1,000, because we want to be giving away a planner. And if we don't hit 1,000 on this training, we won't be giving away a planner. We've only got 214. We need everyone to
keep
start
going,
giving
guys. Those of you on Instagram, if you do want to pop over to Facebook, that's where I am as well. I would love that. Let us know if there's any questions too. I want to be hearing from you guys.
Yeah, so post your questions in the chat box and we would love to answer them. I also will share actually, so I talked a little bit about writing, and while I'm sharing this, I want you to be reacting like crazy, like press the heart button like super speed, and then keep commenting, because I want to give away a planner. So one thing that might happen for you when we talked about this, and I said tech at the beginning was something I did and actually turned out to be something that I didn't enjoy so much. The superpower you have is always going to evolve, and what might have gotten you into the role you're in now, the corporate job that you're in now, or the business you're in now, it doesn't need to be the one thing. It doesn't need to be the one thing you stick with for the rest of your life. So when we first got into business, I was so good at Instagram, I was teaching that, I was good at the tech, I was doing that kind of thing. Whereas the thing that lit me up and I was starting to get better and better at, and I was really honing my craft in, was writing. But when we started growing the business, I very much went into CEO mode, and my job started to become managing people. It started to make sure we're like really driving the vision forward, and I wasn't getting as much time to sit and write as I would have liked. But I knew deep down that if I got that time back, that I could sit and write, the business would really push forward. Because like I shared earlier, when I was in my zone of genius with Instagram, I was like, it was like just a couple of years after leaving university. I was really, really young when I made my first $250,000, and that's because everything lined up for me, and I went in, and I knew that things would be similar with the business. Like if I could go all in on the thing that was good for me, that I was really good at, things would line up and it would supercharge the business even more. And that was a conversation that Danielle and I had to have. Was like, I think my zone of genius has changed. How can we adjust our roles, and how can we adjust what we're doing on a daily basis, because I want to go more into this. And so it's not just constant, and you've experienced this too.
Yeah, no, I have as well, and that's what I was saying earlier. No, if you have a business already, or even if you don't, always think about, okay, where am I at now, and going through this, because it does change. And as you're learning, as you're leaning into different sides of it more and different parts of your role, you will actually kind of enhance certain areas, and you'll change, and you'll learn new skills and your new skill sets, and you'll discover skill sets that you didn't even know existed before. And actually you turn out that you have a natural ability. Yeah. But I just want to come back to that one piece that we started around, is like saying around confidence, because I really, from my personal perspective, that's always something I've really struggled with. And Natalie will say to me over and over again, like, you're really good at this. And I'm like, oh, am I? And actually it's really important for you guys to look within and do that work and go, yeah, I am committed to. Don't give up when you're doing this exercise and going, oh, again, I'm not good at anything, I don't know what that is. Stick with it. And if you need support, ask other people around you, like, hey, what would you say my genius zone is? Like, what would you say that you see as my skill set? So you can start piecing it together, because the harder you find this to do, the more important it is to do it. So I think it's just like a really key takeaway from this. But also we are going to be sharing a couple of other ways that you can discover, get some more support on doing it as well.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to do the planner giveaway right now. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to select a random person.
And close my toes this evening.
Okay. Christy Judd wins a planner. Amazing. We will DM you right after this, or you can drop us a DM and we will send a planner to you. And we're going to be giving away a planner every single day. We might even have more surprises to give away, because if you stick with us for the whole 7 days, we want to make sure we're making this so worth your time. So we'll DM Christy about the planner. We'll be giving away another one tomorrow. So yeah, if you found this training really, really useful, you can see along the bottom of this, we're saying sign up for live training. So like we said yesterday, about a couple of weeks ago, Danielle and I were in Puerto Rico, and we were sitting at a table with some of the best minds in the industry. We're talking, Brendan Burchard, Dean Graziosi, Jenna Kutcher, Russell Brunson. We were around a really amazing table, and we were all helping each other in our businesses and giving each other so much knowledge. And one thing that really came through for Danielle and I was, we're sitting at a very privileged table right now. That's what it is, right? How do we take what we're sharing here and actually give this knowledge to our community and other people in the world? Because the stuff that was being shared at that table, we walked away from it knowing that if we implement it, we're going to make an extra 7 figures this year, like easily. That's crazy that someone can share 10 minutes of knowledge with you that's going to change the game for you. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to know how we could be opening this up to more people. So we're really, really excited to announce that we partnered with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, who are doing a live training. There's going to be Dean, Tony, Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels, and also Jenna Kutcher, who is incredible.
So lovely.
All on a training. It's called KBB. You can sign up, bossbabekbb.com. It's completely free. We're going to be on that training with you, and we're also going to be doing an after party after the training, because like we always say, knowledge without implementation is kind of useless, right? So we're going to be making sure we all join after the training. It's going to be like the morning after the training. We'll all bring our notes together and start talking about our biggest takeaways and what we're going to implement. So we're really, really excited for you to be signing up. So the link is posted in the comments. It's in our bios. It's everywhere. We're sharing this like crazy because it's truly something that we are passionate about. And we know how much what they've shared with us has changed our business. And don't be overwhelmed by these big numbers, because honestly, it is possible for you. If we shared anything yesterday, it's that if you have more self-belief, things are going to change.
And you know, Natty and I are just so passionate about helping you guys create that financial independence for yourselves. So like I said, there's going to be such incredible training. You're so well held, you're so well supported. There's such amazing people in this industry for you guys to learn from. We're always continuing learning from them. So continue showing up for our 7-day series. We've got so many more exciting things to come, but do sign up as well and allow yourself that capacity to go, hey, I want to lean into that. I want to take some action and I want to learn more, because I'm here to create that financial independence for myself, which I know so many of you guys watching is ultimately what you want to.
Yeah. So we're really excited. Thank you so much for joining us today. We did a really long one today because it's something that we're really passionate about, and we want to make sure you can find your superpower. So would love for you to just take a quick picture of this and share it on Instagram. Tag @IamNatalie, tag Danielle Canty, tag bossbabe.inc, all the tags. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was, because we're going to use this feedback every single day to make sure that we're getting better and we're improving. And if you can send us any feedback as well in DMs, we would love that. So
some amazing DMs actually.
Yeah.
You guys on yesterday just having such breakthroughs. So thank you for sharing them with us, because they really, really mean so much to Natty and I. Like, it just lights us up. That's like our, you know, that whole piece on the exercise we did, like how can we change the world? This is how we want to change it, supporting you guys. So DM us and let us know your takeaways, so that we can share them with our team and get back to you too.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into this video. We've got another one coming tomorrow, so stay tuned and let us know in the comments what you loved about it, and remember to subscribe, like, comment, all the things if you haven't already.